This guy's wife ate his poop. It's a tale as old as time. A married couple struggling to keep up the excitement as the years pass. And after having a child, the need to spice things up gets even more pressing. For some couples, this can mean things like trying out new positions, a little bit of role-playing, some toys. This was not the case for one 28-year-old redditor, who very quickly found himself well beyond his comfort zone. For this episode of Tales from the Internet, let's talk about a couple who had their marriage ruined by turds. This video is sponsored by Temu.com. Temu is an online store that has pretty much anything you can think of. They have affordable prices, high quality, and amazing coupons, as well as site-wide sales with savings up to 90%. They got free shipping and free returns for up to 90 days, and they accept all major credit cards and online payment services. When I was talking about doing this promo with them, they told me to just go through the store and buy some stuff I could think of at their expense, and here's what I got. For starters, obviously I've got a new studio set up, so I went on Temu and got some new lights. I also got these costumes for my dog, but she didn't like them, so I couldn't get a real good shot of it. This right here looks like an ordinary pack of gum, but don't be fooled. It's shot gum. Actually, when I opened this, I thought I had gotten one of those things that's kind of like a mouse trap, so I pulled on it real hard, and it actually kind of hurt. So be careful. Fart whistle. Really soft, this cat right here. And of course, you got this handsome fella right here. And new users can get these items for an extra 30% off with code SALE2462. Right now, Temu is having an exclusive offer for my fans on a Nintendo Switch. A Switch normally goes for around $350 elsewhere, but at Temu, it's like around $300. And with the code SALE2462, it goes down to $239. Just click the link in the description to get started. Normally, when a relationship hits a speed bump, you might want to reach out to friends and family for a little bit of advice. Even if you generally have things put together pretty well, sometimes it just helps to have an outside perspective. But of course, there's some things that you might not want friends and family to be privy to, in which case, Reddit's r/relationship advice might be what you need. Thus, on Friday, November 23rd of 2018, a user named Throwaway Husband account makes the post, "Wife told me she wanted to experiment. I obliged, then she attempted to eat my feces." He begins by saying that he's using a throwaway account because his wife follows his real Reddit account. Which, I mean, something tells me that this situation isn't so common that she would see this and be like, oh, it must be some other guy. Especially considering the great amount of detail he winds up going into. He explains that he's been married to his wife for 3 years, and the whole time they've been having pretty vanilla sex. And after they had a kid, things really slowed down. So after having the kid, the wife starts hanging out with this group of moms from the neighborhood. And she expresses these same concerns to her friends. One of the moms pipes up and tells her the secret that saved her marriage. Pegging her husband. Which, pegging, of course, if you don't know what that is, for some reason I feel like a good chunk of the people who watch this channel for some reason might know what it is. I don't know. But for those of you who don't, it's the act of the woman straps on a makeshift a makeshift wiener. Personally, I never got the appeal of it. I mean, it's not like this thing has nerve endings for the woman to feel good with it. It's just, I guess it's some kind of a power dynamic thing. But it worked for her friend, so she wants to try it. OP, of course, was hesitant to try it. He'd said he'd never done ass play of any kind. And as he puts it, he's always thought of the anus as solely an exit. But you know, he wants to make his wife happy, so he goes along with it. And surprisingly, it actually works out okay. That next weekend, she pegged me and everything was surprisingly enjoyable. Additionally, the week following the pegging was one of the best weeks we've had together since the birth of our child. We were back to our old sex life, doing things like having sex before work and even waking each other up with head. But then the week after, she wants to peg him again. It seems like he was surprised that this wasn't just a one-time thing, which I mean, come on man, she's gotta replenish her pegging meter. Well, he agrees to it, and this time, things get a little bit more intense. This is when things took an extreme turn. During the second pegging, while my wife was inside of me, she grabbed my hair. I know that there's no indication whether she does, the old hair twist, which you kind of got to do for optimal control. She grabbed my hair, craned my neck to the right, and pressed our foreheads together. I had never seen her take control like this and thought it was very hot until she looked me in the eye and whispered, "I want your shit." I can't help but picture her saying it like the sick animation Red Diamond Dragon Club.
I'm hungry for shit.
He's taken aback by this, so she elaborates. She wants him to shit on her. He pushes her off of him, asks if she's joking, and to which she starts crying. And because of this, he starts to feel bad, thinking he's kink-shaming her or something. But in any case, he just wasn't down with this, and he winds up spending the night at a friend's house. Of course, he doesn't explain to the friend why he's staying there. He just needed to crash. Throughout the week that follows, the only conversations he has with his wife are about their kid. After the whole week passes, he finally confronts her about this whole situation. She told me again that she wanted me to shit on her, and that it meant a lot to her. I thought it was sickening, but she claimed this was her deepest, darkest kink. I couldn't understand how and why my shit excited her, but she insisted that she has always wanted this. It was interesting how pegging wasn't really what she wanted, but it wound up being the gateway to her admitting what it was that she really wanted. You have to wonder how many married people there are out there holding on to this kind of deep, dark secret that's only waiting for the thing that's gonna knock it loose and they finally come clean. I mean, actually, there was a comment on this post left by a redditor who did a little bit of math. They dug into the known data and concluded that 175 hetero couples likely had engaged in coprophagia this past weekend. Poo eating, of course.
And then they eat the poo-poo.
Which, I mean, if you really think about it, though, that number, it sounds about right. In any case, OP does what any redditor would do when presented with the prospect of shitting on his wife to make her happy. He starts looking up articles and doing research, getting his hands on all the material he possibly can about poop fetishes, looking at some scat so he can understand. And finally, he comes to the conclusion that, although it literally nauseates him, he'll try it to satisfy her. And then later that week, him and his wife are having normal sex. During the session, he mentions that he has to go take a shit, which of course makes her perk up. She gives him some words of encouragement, and although he really doesn't want to do it, he did make a promise. So they go to the bathroom. She got into the bathtub, and I hung my ass over the side of the tub. I started pushing, but unsurprisingly found it very difficult to successfully shit on my wife. I turned my head around to see my wife staring up and smiling at me, waiting for me to finish. With enough time, I was finally able to get a turd to start coming out. I could hear my wife breathing heavier beneath me as my asshole started opening. However, before the turd was able to drop on her chest, I felt a sensation around my asshole. I turned around and saw my wife, the love of my life, the mother of my son, attempting to catch my turd in her mouth as it fell out of my asshole. I was horrified that she would try to do this, and tried to put the shit back into my body so she couldn't receive it in her mouth. Seeing what looked like an attempt by her to eat my shit brought me close to throwing up. So he clenches and tries to keep it from coming out, but in doing that, he winds up cutting a little piece off, and he hears it drop somewhere below him, and he doesn't even look, he just runs out with seeing whatever it is that his wife did with it. He locks himself in their other bathroom and cleans himself up, the whole time thinking about how he's never gonna be able to look his wife in the face again. She's knocking on the door and he's ignoring it, and eventually she texts him, thanking him for fulfilling her wish, and asking him to come to bed. But at the time of writing it, he had not yet gone. I've been sitting in the living room typing this for the last half hour, scared to face my wife. We have plans to take our son to the zoo with another family tomorrow, but I don't think I can look at her after what she did to me. I feel deceived and violated by the woman I love and trust. During our initial conversations about this, there was never a question that my shit would go anywhere other than her chest. She knew how uncomfortable I was with this in the first place, yet she still tried to push the boundary that we had established. He concludes by asking if anyone else had experienced a similar violation of trust, and that he's concerned that this situation could end their marriage. Now, of course, you've got some people who think this whole thing's a troll post. 10 points for a unique troll post. I wish I was trolling. Which, by the way, that was the only other comment this guy ever left. I do think, though, that with the amount of attention this post got, the sort of person who writes troll posts on Reddit wouldn't be able to help themselves but make a bunch of updates. Of course, these updates never came. Granted, the mods eventually locked this thread and they added a warning that if OP wants to add updates, he needs to contact them first. So perhaps there actually were updates that he wasn't able to post. In any case, this actually does raise an interesting point. On some level, this is a violation of consent. Like, he was clearly uncomfortable with this act to begin with, and then she went and tried to make it something that he had never agreed to. One user, Indelible Moments, directed him to r/BDSM community for advice from more experienced people in this matter. Although another user, Dinos Are Gay Like Me, noted that even there's not a lot of scat people. Although another user, Moy Fry, brought up a good point. Even then, the core aspects of a scene are the core aspects. She violated his trust and took the scene to a level he wasn't ready for. Having the language to talk to her could be what helps repair their relationship. Perhaps my favorite take in the comments, though, the most Reddit-brained thing that I've read in this entire discussion. This is so fucked. I just don't think I could literally shit in someone's mouth and then ever kiss them again. If you ever had a dog, just consider that a lot of dogs eat their own shit then later proceed to lick your face. Yeah, but hopefully your dog is not the mother of your children and you need to regain a sense of sexual normalcy with said dog. Hopefully. This thread is weird enough already. Well, that's the story of the Redditor whose wife greedily stole his poo. If you like this video, check out my video about the swamps of Dagobah. I'm out.